Nordina's guy's trainer, Ismael Salas, he's come out and said that he believes Terence Crawford in no way is Terence Crawford beating Errol Spence. He says Spence is just, you know, I'm not quoting him. He's pretty much saying Spence is too relentless. Um, he has too much, the power. And he says he's not sure if Terence Crawford can keep up, withstand the punishment that Errol Spence is going to dish out to Terence Crawford. He also says if Terence Crawford decides to get on his bike, outbox, move, hit and run and stuff, that if he tries to do it that way, he'll lose on the cards, and it won't work out for him that way. Some on that note, when he says that part about if Terence Crawford decides to use a tactic where he hit and run against Errol Spence, he'll lose. Absolutely, he'll lose on the cards, especially if he's in Dallas. And I think that's the reason why Terence Crawford, he wants to fight to be in neutral territory. Because you know how it is. You get the home team, the hometown advantage. Nobody wants that, because that has happened a lot in boxing. So on that aspect, he's absolutely right. And I don't think Terence Crawford is going to fight Errol Spence like that. I had already said that Terence Crawford more than likely, he's just going to have to just do a mixture of things. See, because he's the guy that has the more tools. He has more tools in the toolbox, man, than Errol Spence. He can, Terence Crawford can outbox if he wants to. He can slug it out if he wants to as well. I've seen Errol Spence box. Everybody's seen his boxing skills on display when he fought Mikey Garcia. That's the only time I really seen him outbox somebody or attempt to. And he did really good. He smoked them for the whole 12 rounds, damn near. But still, if Errol Spence was to fight like that against Terence Crawford, it wouldn't work, because he's going to get shots thrown back at him all night long. So this is why people got to see this fight, and we want to see how it's going to play out in the ring. And everybody has their own opinion on how it's going to play out. Terence Crawford's going to knock him out. Errol's going to knock out Terence Crawford. Errol's going to whoop him on the cards. Bud going to whoop him on the cards. Draw, etc., etc., etc. The only way to know this is if the fight happens. And, it seems like they've been talking a little bit more now. So that's exactly what I just said. It sounds like they're talking, they're in negotiations. That doesn't even mean that the fight will be sealed. Doesn't mean that, because I'm hearing that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence is being lowballed by Steven Espinosa. I have to read a little bit more into that before I make a video on it. But I'm not sure what that really about. But as far as this goes, I understand maybe why he's saying that about Bud losing to Errol. That's his opinion, because Errol destroyed his fighter. So, naturally he's going to say that. But he's looking at it through the lens of the way Yordenis Ugas was fighting Errol Spence. He's not looking at it through the lenses of Terence Crawford. So that's a difference. You can't really say that because your fighter got beat up. Your fighter got smashed on. That means Terence Crawford's going to lose, or that means another fighter's going to lose against Errol. That's not how it go. I already explained what I think Terence should do and what I think he'd more than likely do if they fought. He's going to probably mix it up. It's not really in his game plan to really use hit and run tactics like that. That's not really Terence Crawford. I mean, I think the only fight I seen him do that in was probably, I don't know if it was Victor Postol. Was it Postol or was it Felix Diaz? It might have been Felix Diaz. That fight, I think I may have seen him do that a little bit more. But he has Terence Crawford. He has dog in him, and at times it showed he has reckless dog. Absolutely. Sometimes he gets clipped sometimes when he gets overly aggressive, but I'm pretty sure he's tightening up on that because he understands, this is a different type of party with Errol Spence. So he's gonna go in there much more cautious, more calculated, I think, but still he's gonna be more dangerous at the same time. So my whole thing is he's saying that if Errol Spence fights the way he fought, like the way he fought his fighter, then Bud loses. And again, I'll say it again, that's all based on the way your fighter fought Errol, not on how Terence Crawford usually fights people. So I'm not really sure, why he even speaking on Terence Crawford, man. But I guess they asked him, and he spoke his mind on how he felt about it. But that's not how it's gonna work. It's not gonna go like that. It's not gonna go like that. And I think, like I said, Terence Crawford is confident in his abilities, man. He's very confident in his abilities, and that's what makes Terence Crawford one of the best, because he feels, he sees something. A lot of people say, well, a lot of people saw something in Errol. Like Mikey, he saw something in Errol. Bro, again, Mikey Garcia is not Terence Crawford. Mikey Garcia is not on the caliber. He doesn't have the IQ as a Terence Crawford. What Mikey thought he saw in Errol Spence was make believe. It was hogwash. Because he don't have the IQ to understand what he was trying to see in Errol Spence. That's what I don't know how many times I got to keep telling people that. That's why it's levels to this shit. It's levels. Some boxers have the fucking IQ where this is why I made that video. Terence Crawford figured out Errol Spence before they even got in the ring, and I believe that's what happened. I believe that's the case, man. Fighters that have real high IQs, like Floyd Mayweather and people like that, they can figure you out by watching your tapes. And yes, they can, absolutely. So they know this. PBC knows this. Al Heyman knows this. Derek James knows this. Trust me, they all know. So like I said, if they are in negotiations right now, that's cool. But as I've said in numerous videos, my belief is when I see them actually in the ring, touching gloves, or if it's confirmed that they signed, the contract is signed, sealed, and delivered, then I'm hopeful. Then I'll be like, okay, yeah, now it's time. Until then, miss me with it. But anyway, you know what y'all think about Ismael Salas saying that Terence Crawford doesn't beat Errol Spence if he fights the way he fought old guys? Drop a comment, let me know what you think, man. This is Rebel Life Boxing. I'll catch you later on the next one, and I'm out. Peace.